It's like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving, bro. Yo, you saying a lot of secrets right now.
Who's this Dominican Pogba coming at me?
Yeah. Cooligans are on the up right now, dog.
You are looking at the NYC Footy P4 Division Champion. Everybody.
You know what? Everybody was asking, bro, what's going on in the P4, bro?
everybody. That's the league everybody focuses on.
Everybody, man.
So,
all my European homies are like, how come we haven't been updated?
I am.
Is that what this is?
That you're looking at the scarf? Hey,
if you're listening, just above my head says champs.
Exactly. Editor. Meaning Carter. Zoom in
on that, yo.
Zoom in right there. Do it in post.
You know what I mean? Let everybody know.
Yes, our team, Culos Calientes. We are now officially winners of the P4B division. There are two.
I've been culo caliente my whole life.
Exactly. You have said this since day one,
bro. Since day one.
But here it is. It's official. You know what? People are always like, "Yo, y'all are comedians. Y'all don't really play. Y'all don't really know the game." How about now?
How about now, bro?
How about now?
Yo,
you looking
say that to the ring, dog.
Look, even my son. I brought the baby on the pitch and everything. This is authentic footballer.
That's right. You run around. Look at this. You got your splashing what I'm assuming is a Truly.
No, that is that's champagne.
That's
bro.
sham?
Bro, in 45-degree weather.
There's the homie Grace going ham.
We're having a great time. I can't play the music on this clip, but it's actually Pitbull's Culo playing right now.
There you go.
All right. So we had a good time. This was a proper victory. I scored in the semifinal. And we won.
Esa niña tan trita.
That's what's playing right there, bro. So I scored in the semifinal. We won that game 2-1, and then we won the final 2-0. And then I also got to give a shout out to our goalkeeper Jag. He's in the back there in the different colored jersey.
I'm assuming that's who that was.
He's a Celtic fan. So I for the first time ever, I've been playing in this league for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, I gave up a penalty, a handball in the box.
Bro.
I couldn't believe this happened in the final.
Oh, Harry Maguire Polanco over here.
I was like, what? I can't. It broke my heart because I thought I will just absolutely let the team down, and our goalkeeper Jag is up for the penalty and stops it. Great stop to his left, and then we cleared it out. And we played a team that we could never beat in years of playing them. They're very, very good. And we finally got the title. This is my first time ever. I've been playing, since 2014. When I started playing, I didn't know how to do anything. I could barely pass the ball, shoot a ball, learned how to play, and boom, look at this. A winner.
Bro, come on, yo.
We out
Making
here.
Cooligans proud, dude.
So
how much better is this than a team full of comedians, huh?
I tried my best with Cooligans FC but the biggest challenge isn't the talent that the New York City comedians have as soccer players.
No, because there's some good ones.
There's some very good ones,
some
but I can't get them to show up.
That's the problem.
I can't get in
true comedian fashion.
They'll do spots on Saturday night, and then on Sunday they either too drunk to show up or too tired or forget about the game. It got too difficult to babysit a lot of the comics. So, but it's all good, bro. I joined this team, and shout out to the whole team. Really, really great. And also I want to just highlight we play in a co-ed league, and usually. In a lot of co-ed leagues, and just the women that do play on the team, you have to have two women on the field at all times, and because it's always like issues with substitutes, and having female subs is always like it's a thing in rec soccer all over the world. It's just so difficult to find female players that play consistently, and we only had 3 female players for these 2 playoff games, and they had to play pretty much like literally just one sub for them. So a lot of them had to play almost the full game. So just absolute warriors. And I wanted to give a shout out to the female players in rec soccer, because it is no joke.
You can't play without them.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's So I'm excited. am in a good mood, especially after the MLS playoffs this weekend. We'll talk all about it. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerreros.
We are the Cooligans right here, as always, on Yahoo Sports. Crushing it per usual.
Come on. That's why we here, baby. We champs.
Exactly. And
when I say we, I mean Christian.
Okay, no, but it's a collective. Even Carter is a champion.
He has something to do with it, bro.
Okay.
Look at that Tottenham fan. First trophy ever. How's it feel, dog? How's it feel, dog?
We can share, bask in this glory together.
Call Harry Kane, dog.
So
I don't know. It's lit.
We have an exciting show today because we have an incredible guest. We're going to be joined by Andrea Yoch, who is one of the founders of Minnesota Aurora, the women's team out in Minnesota.
That's right. She was also integral in TST.
Exactly. She was the one who invited me to TST. Right. And, obviously, I get invited to TST.
It paid off.
I'm winning.
Now you're a champion.
Winning titles. Okay,
bro, it's all over, dog.
So we're gonna talk to her about that whole project, and we have a little bit of news as well. So you'll just wait till our interview with her to hear a nice, fun surprise. All right. Let's get started today. We're going to cover MLS Cup playoffs.
We're also going to talk about Europe a little bit.
Yeah, and NWSL final. But let's start.
Amorim? Come on now. We got to talk about that.
Okay. Ed Sheeran? Ed Sheeran's show.
Upsetting people?
So, MLS, let's start there. Because highs and lows of the MLS Cup playoffs. We should just start with the Hudson River Derby because we were there.
We were there.
Let's this is what we're sort of here for, right? Just to uplift maybe the blue side of the Hudson River Derby, and let's share our experience. So first of all, Red Bull 2-0 victory at Citi Field. I think a lot of people did not see this coming.
No.
We 100% did not.
I think if we're honest with ourselves, we think New York City was kind of playing with a little bit of house money, getting this far in the playoffs. I thought, especially
I could say the same about Red Bull as well.
Yeah. Simply speaking about New York City FC, but you think once you get past that first round, anything's possible.
Right.
And I think for large portions of this match, I think New York City were the better team. They were just unable to really get sort of that dominance. Get them playing in their own half a little bit.
Yeah,
the way the Red Bull absolutely were able to.
First half was, I thought, spectacular from Red Bulls. They dominated.
Yeah, they took big opportunities.
But they also controlled. They for the most part kept the ball at NYCFC's half.
Well, they certainly didn't let NYCFC sort of pressure them in their own half the way NYCFC seems to want to do.
Yeah, and they, it was a little bit of Route 1 footy. That first goal was just a blast from Coronel. One
closed them down.
No one closed them down.
You got that much space. Yeah, at least try a golazo and it went in.
And then the Sands, I forgot who won that first ball that was in the air. But James Sands went for it. It falls to Carvalho's feet.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best goals I think this season. I mean, it was just an absolute rocket. It was also very windy. I think
it had to have taken something or a knuckled because I've never seen Matt Freese go the wrong way and then have to sort of.
Because I thought it was a deflection. And I was on that end of the stadium. So I was like, oh, it was a deflection. And then I saw the replay. I'm like, oh no, that was just an absolute blast. But it did look like it moved a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, and then the second goal. That was the one I think that took the air out of the stadium. Where I've been seeing a lot of the discourse and people are just being like, oh, the Rebel fans were louder and the whole thing. But that second goal was the thing that was like, what?
Completely deflated.
It deflated the whole team,
especially with Alonso Martinez missing two very easy shots.
And that was a game where, it 100%.
If you look at the XG, it's like 2.8 for...
No, 3.61.
I saw 2.8. Okay, 3.61 for New York. New York City.
Yeah.
That's difficult. When you score nothing, but the supercomputers are like, you should have had at least 3, bro.
Okay, Chat GPT says this is a New York City FC victory.
The cloud is like, bro, what's going on?
So this was as NYCFC fans, I mean, this is something where how did you feel? Because we were at the stadium but we didn't watch the game together. This was a game. Even going into the game, I'm like, this is gonna be tough to beat a team 3 times in a row. And then if there was something that after it, well, I'm like, I don't know whether to be more sad at losing, at being out of the playoffs, or losing to Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, I think this just adds another wrinkle to the rivalry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Red Bull's good enough to win the whole thing, but they're playing better right now than they did at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. That second half, though, it was remarkable that NYCFC didn't score. I thought they were going to at least get one.
I was under the impression, I'm like, this is going to go to extra time.
Exactly.
And it just never happened. So, congratulations to Sandro Schwartz. You've put together a team. Emil Forsberg completely makes his team click. Which you see when he's not on the pitch. It's like when Maxi Morales isn't on the pitch for us, even though he was on the pitch and you couldn't really get him the ball. Was Santi playing the 10 for most of this game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think also they tried to, especially in the first half, they tried to eliminate Maxi as much as they could.
And they were doing a pretty good job.
They did a good job of it.
They did a good job. If he doesn't get the ball at his feet, they're just not as effective. But I think this is, if you're looking at where the rebuild is, right? So New York City FC has been in a bit of a rebuild over the last few seasons. If you look at where it is, I think you'd say, if you could look at this, bird's eye view, probably a little bit further ahead than they thought they would be at this point of the season. Sure. Especially getting rid of Talis Magno, having him. I don't know if he's out on loan or if he's completely transferred.
I think it's a loan, but I don't think he's coming back.
But he's not. Yeah, he's probably not coming back. So you look at that, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If you're a New York City FC fan, as long as Red Bull doesn't win that World Cup, you're good.
Everybody's Team Orlando right now.
Yeah, let's go Orlando, bro. We've been Orlando
just a couple things
one.
that were notable after the game. 2 things happened. One. John Tolkien, did you see what he did after the game? So after the game, he goes to...
he did go to the supporters.
He went to the NYCFC supporters to kind of like...
And they threw a bunch of stuff at him.
They did. Fair. I mean, it's like,
That's kind of fair, right? You're going
I mean, he knows what he's sort of getting himself into. Not okay to throw things at players, but whatever. But then Maxi Morales came and pushed him away. It started a big scuffle. Emil Forsberg coming in, arguing with Maxi. Everybody's like, even I think some of the Rebel players were like, John, how he is.
Flat earth.
So it was funny. And then the other thing was a fan stormed the pitch. Did you see this?
I did see it. It took like 8 people to tackle him.
This was so crazy. So a fan stormed the pitch, and this does not happen at NYCFC games because it's also like, who are you running to get a photo with or a selfie with?
Yeah.
So he runs on the pitch, and it takes a long time for anybody to even be aware that like something's going on. Because no one does this. This is very strange. This happened when like Pirlo was playing, right?
Or like Messi.
Yeah. Those are understandable. So he runs through several through players, staff. Then I'm like wondering, who is he going to? He stops at who? Keaton Parks.
Big Keaton Parks fan, bro. Huge, bro. He's willing to go to jail for Keaton Parks.
Not only is he,
you could have DM'd him and met him for a coffee.
I love Keaton Parks, bro, just as much as the next person,
bro. But even Keaton Parks would tell you Keaton Parks and we're going to jail over, dog.
He runs over to Keaton Parks. He tries to, I think, either give him a hug or take a photo or something. I couldn't make sense of it. And then the security, they grab him.
So that's when I see him. I see a group of men.
Yeah.
Wearing all black. This looks like baseball security guys.
Yeah, and they go grab him, and then they knock over Keaton.
Oh, really?
Keaton falls over, and I was worried that he might have been injured or something because he really toppled over. The dude is 6'4". So he gets up quickly. I'm like, oh, okay, good. And then the dude gets arrested. He gets put in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because he's also not cooperating and fighting.
He starts kicking them.
And I'm like, what
are you doing,
for
bro?
Keaton? What is it about Keaton that I do not know?
He would have let you drive his car. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good dude.
You want to babysit his kid?
No, facts.
He might let you.
He could take his girl to the theater, dog.
It's crazy. So I don't know. I took a photo of the guy. I'm like, I just took a photo of him. I'm like, do I know this person?
Yeah.
And it wasn't anybody I recognized. So I can't make sense of it.
Drinking at the game,
I don't know what it is. So no, we don't need that. There's also no reason
Explain
for
that, Joe. What are you in for? Keaton Parks?
Oh, Keaton.
Oh, damn.
How lucky are you?
Everyone slides away from you. Chill. He dangerous, bro.
All right. The other a couple other matches in the playoffs. LAFC lose to the Seattle Sounders. Jordan Morris coming in clutch at the end of the game, scoring a great goal in extra time.
Schmetz does it again, dog.
This is Seattle Sounders. They got in what? They were the 7th seed. What seed were they?
I don't remember.
No.
Go to the knockout. It'll tell you.
Yeah. They got in. They didn't have a great season. It wasn't ideal. I might also 7th might not be the case. Where did they?
They were
finish?
4th.
4th. Okay. Apologies.
That's not too bad. 7th was Colorado.
Okay. So
damn, the disrespect.
Apologies. I didn't. They had a decent season.
Yeah.
But this Seattle Sounders, given like the injuries that we're dealing with throughout the year, this is not the result. You just didn't expect this. That they would be so kind of like defensively sound in this game. No pun intended. So because you feel like LAFC, even leading up to the end of the season, they were so dominant.
I think this is more of a conversation of like the inability of Steve Cherundolo to make the team better with a guy like Giroud.
Well, Giroud I think is probably the biggest talking point because ever since his inclusion, did he score any goals in MLS? I don't think he might have only scored one. I know he scored in Leagues Cup, but he really didn't bring much to this team. And I would argue he kind of was a wrench in like probably what they already had going.
Or should they? I mean, if somebody hands you a great player like that, shouldn't that make your team a little better? Shouldn't you figure out tactics?
But they were pretty good without him.
They were great. They were great. Again, they finished in first.
And similar to the decision of Tata Martino to not play Julian Gressel in the playoff game, in the 3 games against Atlanta, Kai Kamara. Which I'm like, where is Kai Kamara?
That guy was scoring buckets.
He was especially late in game. He didn't play. I don't think he even got into this game, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just kind of disappointing some of the decisions from Cherundolo, because you would think, again, the firepower that they have up front, obviously with Buanga, with Bogusz, like how could they not figure out just to get a couple more goals? But credit to Seattle. And also, speaking of NYCFC, the own goal, there was an own goal from Maxime Chanot.
Yeah, man.
But I felt bad for him. And he's also a center back that got subbed out, which is like
that doesn't always happen.
That doesn't always happen. Not essentially great, but it was probably for the I think they put a more offensive player and changed the formation. But this was, I think we just have to give credit to Seattle here, because
Jordan Morris,
the Roldan brothers, Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cooligans bump.
Bro, finally.
Okay. It seems to work very well for Seattle players, not as well for NYCFC.
Yeah, man. We messed up, right? We should have given the good juju to New York City FC. But, I mean, still, this is a huge... I mean, this is probably Don Garber's worst nightmare, but no El Tráfico, no Miami.
They after Galaxy won or just once LAFC lost, it was like, okay, it doesn't feel as sexy.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be any less entertaining. So again, credit to the Sounders. This was a huge, just like to gut it out. That's really where I wanted. They tracked back. They handled the counters. And there's something when I watch LAFC, and I was watching this game with my wife, and she was just saying, as she was watching the game, she was like, as we're watching LAFC, she's just like, these guys are just like better. They're better than other MLS teams. They pass so fast, and you look at even the LAFC are the best at like when you see the players run, they run so fast that it looks like their legs are not.
Yeah.
they run like Europeans or whatever, you know. They couldn't figure out the Sounders, and this tends to be the case. We've throughout all the years that we've been doing our show, the Sounders always find some way to either get to an MLS Cup final, whether they finish high up on the table or not. Impressive overall. Okay, next up, we'll end with Galaxy, but Orlando and Atlanta. Not too much to say here.
Not a lot going on.
Yeah, 1-0 victory. Obviously, you're a little bummed for Dax McCarty, because that would have probably been a fun matchup. Atlanta United against Red Bull.
Yeah, the Dax versus his old team.
His own team. That would have been a nice little storyline there. But Orlando, I think the better side here. They got the once they got the goal, I think they just did everything they could to just slow the game down and hold on.
Feels like all of the stars were lining up for Galaxy, no pun intended there, to win this thing.
They had a terrible situation in Atlanta though. Tiare had an injury and he got out of the game, and then the replacement also got injured.
Tough.
Right after, I'm like, all right, so just the Vanni Sartini gods were not on your side, the godless. So it didn't work out there. So Orlando will be facing obviously Red Bull, and then Galaxy against Minnesota United in a game that
I mean, Minnesota United were completely outclassed here.
Yeah, but also the Orlando game was so boring, respectfully, that this game kind of saved.
At least had goals, bro. 8 goals.
8 goals. I mean, they were I think it was it 4 goals or 5 goals in the first half or something like that. I forgot how many. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 goals in the first half,
and 3 in the second. I mean, this was jam packed. None for Minnesota in the second half.
Right in the beginning of the game, Ricky Puig sends a great ball to Gabriel Peck, and
he's fully back.
Yeah, he is looking great. And more than anything, LA Galaxy are. They score that goal in the 20 seconds in, and then they give up a goal 4 minutes later. And this is what I think we're sort of used to. They are like, oh, we're gonna score more than you,
right? And
we're not gonna worry too much about defending. But more than anything, this Galaxy, even though they didn't finish first in the Western Conference and had that, I don't know if you saw Ricky Puig retweeted the MLS. From MLS 360 when they were watching that game, and Galaxy lost and LAFC won, and then they finished it first. So Ricky Puig reposted that clip of them like going crazy that LAFC won first place. This for a guy who's this good at soccer, this good at soccer. He's also like. He's just like bookmarking. He's like, all right, I got you.
They do got a lot of time. We don't talk about this. They're done with training at like 1, 2 o'clock.
He's like,
got a lot of time.
Hey, Kevin Egan, I got you, buddy. I'm gonna one day.
My shooters is watching, bro. They already pinpointed me. They sent me the link.
Kaylin Kyle. Oh, I got a tweet coming.
Oh, was you smiling?
So shout out to them. No, a very, very entertaining game. And then also there was one moment, I think it was Painsel's goal or somebody's goal, but they had the ball that they scored with and tossed it to a fan, and I'm almost sure that fan was Eli Lesser. I couldn't see. They didn't zoom in.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
But I could be wrong, Eli. If you're seeing this, let me know if anybody. But there was a fan like going like that, and Eli usually wears a hat or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, he just passed the ball to Eli directly, like randomly.
So it's like, yo, love the content.
Keep it up, bro.
Yo, keep it up. We watching, bro.
All right. So then also, let's chat about the NWSL final.
Hey, bro, Marta.
In
front of her mom. You know, the last time her mom went to go see her play, she had to go to the hospital because she said she was getting too anxious watching Marta play.
Interesting.
It was too much pressure.
That's
this whole family, bro. This whole family is adorable.
That's very. I mean, that's scary, but
very scary. But like because it ended positively cute.
Okay, Marta's alive. Marta's mom is alive.
Yeah. Everyone's good at the end of the story.
But Marta, look, I mean, she obviously Barbara Banda gets the goal, and then off a play, another Brazilian at Orlando, Angelina. She pushes, mushes.
Yeah, she kind of two-hand pushes, and part of her hand gets on the on her face.
Lacey Santos.
Lacey Santos's face, which, yes, hands to the face. I completely understand Seattle, Washington fans saying, like, that should have been called. Something should have happened there.
Yeah.
But Christina Uncle, I think, had a really good explanation. I don't think there's really much there. I mean, again, the player doesn't go down. And this is why people say, like, oh, in soccer, they flop too much. If you go down and hold your face, you're going to get that call. Should you have gotten that call? Well, if you go down, you will.
Yeah. I could see it being called. But the fact that it wasn't called, it felt a little bit like, it's a big man game.
Yeah.
It's
a final, dog.
It's a final. It's just like, walk it off, champ.
Take a finger in the mouth, bro. Yo, you trying to win?
There's a little bit of like, even throughout these NWSL playoffs, they've been a little chippy. I mean, how many times Trinity Rodman was getting fouled even throughout the playoffs?
She hurt her back kind of at some point in this game. Yeah, and
she said that she wasn't 100%, but she wasn't gonna miss a final.
Yeah, dude, she gutted it the whole time. This was kind of a boring game though, so I'm happy for Barbara Banda. Beautiful goal. I'm happy for Marta. You saw the players run to her and celebrate with her as soon as they won.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, completely sold out. Kansas City Current Stadium. I forget the name of the park now. This is
CPKC.
Yeah, KCPK, something like that. But whatever it is. And I apologize for forgetting. I mean, we could look it up. Carter. This was, I think, a great moment for women's soccer. And you and I were at Soccer X when they were having the conversation about women's soccer, and Christina Uncle, who happened to be on the panel, said, like, we're not taking pennies on the dollar anymore. We're not a charity. This is a full-blown fledgling business, over $1 billion globally, and we want our fair money when it comes to negotiations and stuff like that. And I thought this was a great example of how far the women's game had come.
Yeah. This was I mean, and there's something to NW. I was at the NWSL Championship last year, and we obviously couldn't be there this year. But they just, even all the coverage, like year after year, it's becoming much more prominent, more pronounced. I mean, even where I was just showing stuff from like Attacking Third and CBS obviously is doing a great job, but just not just a lot of the other independent coverage of it. Gal Powell Sports, Shea Butter, just so many different people, the Meg Linahans of the world, everybody.
Champions of the game.
They're all doing just incredible work. So it's making, even as I'm watching the coverage from home, I'm like, I still feel like I'm very much there, and you're seeing the accessibility, and similar to like the stuff that Christina Uncle was talking about at Soccer X. Just that it isn't this charity and all this other stuff, but more and more people are simply just working in the game, in covering the women's game. And it's like, there's not a ton of jobs in general, in soccer in general, male or female, but the fact that you're seeing that that sponsorship, that interest, that coverage more and more and more from the women's side is just like great to see. So Orlando. They win the Shield, and they win the championship.
Shouts to Seb Hines, and Giles Barnes is on the coaching
Giles Barnes,
team.
we got to hit up Giles Barnes. I know
man, he's a homie.
He's been wanting to do the show again. I know that. He's the assistant coach over at Orlando Pride. So great to see. Congrats.
Coach of the year as well for Seb Hines.
To Marta,
now a champion.
And her mom, who, when they put the camera on her and she was crying watching her, I'm like, come on, bro. What are you trying? It's a Saturday. I'm not trying to just cry out here.
Put your arm around this woman, bro.
So amazing to see. A great final. All right, let's get to our conversation with Andrea. So Andrea Yoch is, like I said, one of the co-founders of Minnesota Aurora. They play in the USL Women's League.
She's awesome. She's cool people. She's very influential in the game. Mm-hmm. We're also going to be talking about some of the European games after her. But for Andrea, man, she's just like one of those people that you just like, you're happy is involved in the world of soccer.
Yeah. So you're all gonna love her. All right. So here's our conversation with Andrea Yoch. I'm absolutely excited about our next guest because
you guys are about to listen to a business meeting.
This is a business meeting. We have a huge announcement to make. As far as the Cooligans Corp.
Bro, we leveling up.
scale. So a lot's happening, but
We've been big money since day one, but now we acting like it.
so but this person is not only someone who is obviously has a big influence in especially American soccer, but also has truly and genuinely become a friend to the Cooligans.
Well, it's very rare that you meet people that are this involved in the world of soccer and are this like much of a good person.
Yeah, and also like us.
Yeah.
You know, so that,
well, that's it. There's a lot of good people who are like, I could give or take the Cooligans, and I'm like, okay, bad judgment. This person, great judgment.
And as for there's a lot to talk about. We're obviously going to be talking about Minnesota Aurora. We're going to talk about TST because all of that is all something that we all have kind of a hand in. And so I just want to. We'll get through all the details, but I just want to give a warm round of applause to our dear friend, and also what I would also deem the Cooligan soccer mom.
Yeah,
I think that is also fitting as well.
I can see that.
Because please welcome Andrea Yoch, everybody. Andrea, how are you doing?
I'm good, you guys. I'm so honored, honestly, to be here. I feel like I'm early Cooligans too. Like when we first met,
early adopter.
I am an early adopter Cooligan. Yeah,
without a doubt, because we initially met at when we were hosting ICC, the
House of Soccer.
This was in Charlotte.
That's right.
When Fiorentina was playing Arsenal, and they were doing a House of Soccer big event.
The park, and we were the hosts.
We were the hosts
the
for
MCs of this park.
Megan Rapinoe, we brought her on stage. Ron Rivera, who was the coach of the Panthers.
Charlotte Panthers at the time.
It's the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers.
And that as
you
you were working for the the agency or the company that was putting this whole thing together. So you are someone who's worked in soccer for and just in sports for a very long time, but now
and somehow you said I should befriend these two idiots.
Well, because we were all so excited about meeting Megan Rapinoe. I mean, let's be honest, it was a pretty big day for everybody.
We did bond.
We bonded very quickly, but now you obviously still work in soccer, but you are also the and I want to just make sure the title is correct, because you are one of the co-founders of Minnesota Aurora, which is the USLW team that plays out there. You guys are you play in St. Paul?
We're just St. Paul adjacent. So technically we're in Eagan. We're at the Vikings practice facility. They have a 7,000 seat stadium, and that's our home. Right. So which is perfect for us. We should know this.
We should know this, yes. Because
we got to drop a pin. It's important for us.
Because this is the announcement that we can make. The Cooligans are now co-owners. We are one of the owners of Minnesota Aurora.
Bro, we are co-owners of a women's soccer team.
Look at all right.
Yes.
Hey,
you had to branch out of media, and there you go.
I should be wearing a suit and have a briefcase. Or maybe an ascot.
That's not us. We're grassroots. You look perfect.
Okay, all right.
I like the way
you know what?
think.
I'm still wearing a fedora because I'm an owner.
You wear the fedora. But yes, welcome to Minnesota Aurora's community owner group. We are the cool kids.
Thank you so much. So I want to give people an opportunity just to learn a little bit about the club. I know we've worn the jerseys on the show throughout the last few years, but just let everybody know
we've had players on the show as well.
Yep. Sarah Fuller was on the show as well. So please let the world know, let our audience know about Minnesota Aurora, what it is, and the community investment.
So Minnesota Aurora is an amateur team in Minnesota that started a few years ago, a group of local normal people. If you want to call Wes normal, but local people.
Shout out to Wes Burdine.
Shout out to Wes.
Originally, they wanted weirdos, but they said, why don't we go with normal people?
Normal economic base. How about that? We
sure.
decided that we didn't want to wait for some rich person to come along and start a women's soccer team, and that if we put our heads together, we could actually start a women's soccer team. And so that was a great idea, but then we had to figure out, well, how are we going to fund this women's soccer team, because nobody had any money. And Wes Burdine, who's the owner of Blackheart, where you guys have hung out.
We've done stand up there.
Yeah, he is a student of sort of soccer culture, and he had seen community ownership campaigns happening with different teams, and he said, let's do a community ownership campaign. Let's raise money, and we'll have owners, and that's how we'll get our money. And so we said, okay. And so that's what we did. And our initial campaign sold out. We thought we'd raise about $300,000. We raised $1 million. We sold every share we had. We had people left on the waiting list. That group of people helped us pick our brand. So, let's put Boston off to the side. We actually asked the fans. And,
Or nation.
So we asked our fans, and all of those community owners, they helped us come up with the name Aurora. They voted on our brand, and suddenly we had a women's soccer team with 3,080 owners. So now here we are 3 years later, and we're still community owned. We still have to figure out how to raise money. So we have a new community ownership campaign, of which you have just joined and become owners. And so we are working to be the largest independent women's soccer team in the United States that is community owned.
Amazing. Yeah. And I know, speaking to you and speaking to Wes, how much work it takes on a grassroots level.
Insane.
This is
our volunteer job. This is where it gets confusing, because my day job, which I've been lucky enough to work with you guys on, that's my paid work. Aurora is our volunteer work. And so, but it's very rewarding.
I remember the first year, and I was watching games and seeing not only obviously you mentioned playing at the Vikings practice field.
But the fan reaction
was great. You guys were selling out games, and then also the play on the field was spectacular. They were just like players. I'm like, wow, like these players, and I throughout the years I've been seeing players getting signed, going to playing in clubs in Europe, playing getting NWSL opportunities and things like that. And you see that the one thing you expect is like, oh wow, this is really cool. The people we know have garnered this like incredible support in their community, and you love just that part of it. But then you watch the actual games and you're like, yo, these players are good. This is like no joke.
Yeah, and the crowd is the crowds are amazing. We expected a few thousand people, and our very first game we were at over 6,000, and so we're at max capacity now at our stadium, which is 7,000, which on a regular weekend outdraws a good chunk of the NWSL. And so our fan base is incredible, and it's from all over the world too. We have owners from all over the world, every state. And people just love being a part of this club and just owning the team. And so by being an owner, you tell everybody else that you own a soccer team, and then you bring them to games. So the grassroots nature of it
is there like a board meeting or something we need to be a part of?
Yes. No.
Should we show up to Minnesota?
You can run, Alexis, for the board. So our community.
Alexis can't run, actually.
I'm gonna more saunter for the board.
You can put your name in. So part of what we're doing differently is that our community owners vote for 2 people to sit on the board, so that you always have a voice within the organization. So that's been really important, because our community owner representatives help with everything, like ticket prices. When should we do this? How do you think our community owners would react? And it does allow us to avoid really big, stupid mistakes, because the community owners.
Well, then that's where I come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm here to shake it up. Let's add one big stupid mistake.
Are you implying Boss Nation was a mistake?
Yeah, what?
No, not at all. That was a beautifully rolled out campaign.
How about, I got an idea for our website. How about a good amount of balls.com? You know?
Just enough balls.
Just enough balls.
You can
An
have
average
them.
amount of balls.com.
You can have them. You can not have them. Your choice.
Right.
Hey,
We don't care.
it's up to you.
You're welcome. We're very inclusive.
Balls are balls. I don't care if they're attached, not who. Doesn't matter.
So can we talk a little bit about just the attempt to try to get into the NWSL and what that looks like?
Because that was a big risk when you ventured that way.
It was. It was a very big swing. It's a sad story. I don't want to bring you guys down, but I actually left TST to fly home to finish our bid, because it was due the Friday of TST.
Yeah, I remember.
Sadly, our team wasn't still playing at that point, so but
You didn't miss much.
Yeah, we got so we submitted a bid. We had a full ownership group. We were really excited. Actually, we really felt we had a really great shot at it. And then after the bids were submitted, it turned out that the people who had put their name in with us had also put their name in with another group. And that's against the rules. And so
they were hedging their bets, I guess.
That's exactly what they were doing. And so when they were asked to pick a group, unfortunately, they picked the other group. So after the bids were due, we lost our funding, and we scrambled and actually tried to find somebody else. But it's a little hard to find $150 million just, like that. And
we got couches. There could be something there. We got to look.
Do you need me to send like a text or two?
Yeah,
one of them's going to be to you.
You know anybody?
A lot of zeros. You can just send it straight to Jessica Berman if you want to. Like, just
here
it is.
So, but it is interesting. Just the look. It's much more practical than maybe we kind of think. It's just like you need to have a lot of money. You need to have
at least access to people that are willing to commit that money.
Yeah, that security.
How do you sell to, let's say Christian and I have 75 million each.
Great.
How do you sell to us the prospect of women's soccer in a market like Minnesota, which is not small, but not the biggest either?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I tell you that the San Diego Wave and Angel City started for $2-3 million and then sold recently for hundreds of millions of dollars. Right. And wouldn't you want that investment?
Yeah. I mean, that was great. What a great 100x my investment.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, that's pretty much that's the pitch, right? Nothing is growing faster than women's sports, and particularly women's soccer. You guys have been huge supporters from the beginning, but during the bid process, Angel City sold for $250 million. I mean, whoever, Alexis Ohanian, he looks like a genius. He started that team in San Diego. We were working on the bid when San Diego sold for $113 million. That's pretty good math.
And also, we've been to Minnesota several times, and we've seen plenty of Minnesota United matches, All-Star. It is I think people don't really understand how much how much potential the soccer. I mean, we've seen it on the men's side, but I don't think we really understand what the sort of cap is for women's soccer as well. But because Minnesota soccer fans are awesome, and we've done stand-up shows at Blackheart, we did a live podcast at the Talisman Cap Store in St. Paul. Just genuinely awesome people that really love the game. So I can't think of many other communities that could be potential bids in NWSL that would be better than Minnesota,
especially that already have a stadium and have a clear support for the sport in general.
I mean,
like you said, women's sports is growing at such a rapid pace.
We've played on the same night as Minnesota United, and both of our games are sold out.
Yeah.
So that shows you how big the community is, right? The problem is that those NWSL players don't want to play for free. And so you got to raise the money,
Of course.
So it would be rude to ask them to play for free. I think.
Just to let people know, I want to move on. We'll talk some TST, but let people know how they can be how they can become part owners of Minnesota Aurora.
So if you go to wefunder.com/MN Aurora, that's where it happens. Yep. And I would like to put in a very special request. We are still looking for more U.S. women's national team players, and I know a lot of them love you guys. So,
okay,
if you're listening to this
now
now's your chance.
Now our contact list seems a little bit more realistic.
Right? Yeah. Now there's a third text I can send.
There are people we can text to get a little bit.
So we got a couple of them out there that have retired that we'd love to have join us, and it's a minimum investment of $100. So
it
doesn't cost much to come on board.
They got it. They're good for it. They're good for 100.
How about this? How about one latte a week? A day for the next 2 weeks.
Okay,
I think you're good. Or if it's Starbucks, 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about TST a little bit because
because a little background for the audience listening.
Yes,
when you were asked to play for TST, people thought, well, this must have come from some, Jose Mourinho guy sitting in a corner office being like, I need me this Dominican man who's quite shockingly a little taller than you expect him to be when you meet him in person. But this call came from you, Andrea.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was telling people that it was the Make-A-Wish Foundation that reached out to me, and that I have they were like, hey, you're gonna be in TST, and I also have terrible news.
Yeah.
So,
You don't even need to be a sick kid. We're doing it for people who we know wouldn't get the opportunity.
But yes, you were the person that reached out to me and asked if I wanted to play. So I never really got a chance to have this conversation with you. But why did you do that?
What is wrong with you?
Because you knew I wouldn't say no. But what was the catalyst?
So I was in charge of marketing the international matches that were coming over to the United States. And we had a game in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So we had Manchester City was playing Celtic in Chapel Hill. And I was trying to come up with ways to increase the volume around that match. And we were working with TST to sort of do cross promotion. And then I don't know why, one day I was like, wait, why do I want to just put up banners when we could actually put in a team? And as usual with my crazy ideas, I'll go run it by somebody. So in this case, I called our mutual friend, Jamie Watson, and I said, okay, I have this really dumb idea. But what would you think if we put together a TST team of personalities? Right. So I was really looking, they accuse me of marketing FC, but I am marketing FC, and that's fine.
Go.
So
that's your specialty.
Yeah.
That is my specialty. This is what I do, is put butts in seats and bring attention to things. So we decided to put together the most fun media type team that we could. And so you were very high on my list, and we may not have been the best soccer team out there, but we were the most fun.
Wait, hold on. No, Christian, wait, this is a flex. You were high on the list. We all assume a bunch of people said no.
No. He was very high on my initial list. And in fact, when I was presenting this to the rest of the group, they were like, wait, you can get like the Cooligans? And I was like, yeah, I think so.
Wait, one of them.
One
of them.
I don't think our EMT budget can have Alexis. I honestly assumed it was one of those things where we've all done it, where you send a text and then right after you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
No.
I just asked this person to go hang out. I don't want to hang out with him now.
No, and we had a blast. Mateo got to come. That was awesome.
Yes, my son got to be there.
Yeah.
My wife.
Your wife was also there.
She enjoyed it as well. I didn't just bring my
just your son.
Mateo's really cute, though.
Thank you. I mean, it was I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. It was one of the most transformative experiences of my life, Andrea.
It was amazing.
It was
this man came back like he had just been to U.S. men's national team camp. the confidence.
Hey, I was just at Camp Cupcake.
Yeah.
Talk to me nice. You know what I mean?
We have professional players.
Really
Like, for those of us who've played in competitive matches, we know this.
It was like summer camp, right? It was like if you ever went to summer camp as a kid and then you came back the next year and you hadn't seen your friends for a long time. That's what it felt like to me. It was a little bit like when the All-Star game was in Minnesota and we all hadn't seen each other for a long time because of COVID.
Yeah,
right. The All-Star game was 3 days worth of being so happy to see your friends. Right.
Yeah.
Now there was a little bit late night drinking there too, which I'm still recovering from.
Yeah,
but
as expected,
right? as us footballers do. It's okay.
But
we can
TST
unwind.
Hey, you play hard, you party hard, right?
But yeah, TST was awesome, and it turned out Christian can play.
I was, it just like was surreal being on the pitch with, I kept telling everybody that, when I was on the pitch and I was like either defending against someone or somebody was defending against me, there was a surreal moment in realizing that the person that was in front of me that was defending me did not know that I was not a supreme football. You know what I mean? They were just like, I gotta watch this guy because he might get by me. And
he's lanky, he's young looking.
Who's this Dominican Pogba coming at me? It's
not like he's a clown. This guy's playing.
Why would he be here if he's a clown? Little do you know, sir.
Putting my makeup on when you ain't looking.
So that it just all I'm saying is it boosted my confidence to a level because I didn't grow up playing the game. I started playing it as an adult, and I think my inclusion in the team. I had so many people message me that they were like, dude, this is inspiring.
Yeah.
This is incredible. We watched you do videos of you juggling during the pandemic.
4 or 5 hammies on middle-aged men were ruined because you asked him to be in TSD.
Okay, we gave him a false hope.
Yes.
No, it was awesome. And everyone on our team. I mean, how about Claudio?
Claudio Castagnoli, AEW wrestler, former WWE wrestler, kids lining up to take photos with him. Yep. And he's out here on the pitch with his 6'4", 250 pound self.
Just a massive
doing
human being.
Doing 1-2s, just going up. There were moments when aerial balls where we were playing against like #United.
Yeah.
And some guy went up for a 50-50 ball against a professional wrestler.
A guy who's done this from the top rope.
And I was just like, are you great? Like, you can't want $1 million this bad.
Bro, you ain't even getting all of it. You know
the best part was our last game where that team was, I can't remember who it was. They were kind of obnoxious. Right?
It was hashtag. Yeah.
They were trying to take you guys down. Like they were so serious about it. And then afterwards, they all came over to the bench for selfies.
Right.
I was like, okay, wait. So you do really like all of these guys? You just wanted to kill us on the soccer field?
They're like, remember me? I'm the guy who 2-foot you.
Yeah.
Can I get a picture?
So it was really, really cool, and I just want to make sure. I already told you in person, but thank you so much again for the opportunity, because it was
in a way. Andrea made your dream come true when it wasn't even really your dream.
The dream.
You just never thought you would ever do it.
I had to add the dream to my bucket list after I was already at TSC.
My wife makes lists that way. She'll put stuff on she's already done just so she can have something checked off.
Exactly.
That's what happened with TSC.
This is how you become a sports team owner, is you don't know you have the dream, and then next thing you know, you have a women's soccer team.
Exactly.
You didn't even know it was on your bucket list.
This is the best.
I can't wait.
So whether it's on the pitch, whether it's in the front office, the Cooligans will have an influence. Okay.
Well, I think you're going to have to help with merchandise too. Like clearly your style.
We got ideas. Yeah. Bucket hats. Flip-flops that you could throw at children, right? That's for the Latinos.
Okay, wait. We're trying to tap into a different market.
Thongs, bro. We got to have Aurora thongs.
Aurora thongs. Men's thongs.
Yeah.
Who's modeling these thongs? Do we get
to Alexis volunteer.
You're welcome, everybody. I don't know how many we're going to sell.
I don't know if you know this about Alexis. Obviously, it's an old, it's Cooligans lore, but Alexis was the vice president of modeling club in high school.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So...
The vice president. Some would say the most important member of the modeling club.
In case the president was attacked or killed,
gunned down,
Alexis could step in.
Okay, I am feeling an idea here that when we release our jerseys for 2025, you're going to have to come out and be on the runway.
I would love it. Make one that fits, and I will be there.
Happy to do that.
I'm sample size plus 50.
So no, we were kind of talking before we started on air, but there were so many moments. Whether it was being on the pitch, whether I was interviewing a lot of the players, doing the press conference, which was such a surreal, fun thing. With it was me, Jamie Watson, I think Claudio, and Kenny Cooper.
Yeah, Kenny Cooper was there.
Of FC Dallas legend.
A guy who was in the Manchester United Academy and doing a press conference.
And the fun thing about
equal peers.
And my favorite thing about all of that was that nobody treated me any differently. They were just like, "Hey, you are one of the players on this team," and
that's also where you can shine. You can show your talent.
Oh, there's
a microphone.
The press conference. I'm like, hey, Kenny, I got this.
We had the best. No, we had the best press conference because, like, so many of those teams, those people have never seen a camera, and then we roll in with our media-friendly team, broadcasters, superstars, and it's like, just keep rolling.
I love, it was great, and I wonder, I never got the footage of the press conference. I wonder if somebody has it.
Oh, I'll ask him for it. Yeah,
because it was genuinely really fun, and then I'm sure
Gully Squad, our Patreon, would love to see that.
Yes, the journalists, which was like, hey, journalists, you know what I mean? Like, hey, this is the roles were a little bit reversed.
I'm over there asking these questions.
Next year, you guys have to stay for the finals though, because I did fly back down to go to the women's final, and that was so cool.
I was at the women's final, but not the men's final. I left that the next morning, so I missed the men's final.
Okay, so the women's final, I flew back for Monday night, and it's like Jessica McDonald, who's always been like one of my favorite players. Great. Like she's playing like right in front of me.
Yeah,
you know, it was, you know, Lori Lindsay was down there. Lori's a community owner. Like it was very cool.
If you do this again, I'll be the manager.
Okay.
Perfect. Done.
Well, we had a coach who was also really awesome, but
but I'll be the guy behind him.
You can be the assistant.
I mean, that's how I managed to find work is I just stay behind the scenes and keep offering to do things. So
no, it's cool. I know we appreciate everything that you've done for us personally, but obviously all the contributions to the game, and obviously wishing us a successful. And just thriving Minnesota Aurora, and I hope soon we can finally actually go. I've watched a bunch of games on television, but it'd be nice to watch.
No, we're gonna bring you guys out
a game in person,
and
stuff like
someday
that,
we're gonna be pro, and you guys are gonna be able to say I was part of getting us there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
From the owner's suite.
From the owner's suite. Yeah. It's going to have to be a big suite because we have 5,000 owners now. So we may just actually call it a stadium.
Sure.
I guess.
The owner suite is going to look like Dortmund's yellow wall. You know? But Andrea Yoch, thank you so much for joining us. It's been super cool. And again, I'm excited to see what the future holds for Minnesota Aurora.
Well, thank you and welcome aboard. We're so happy to have you guys.
How about that from Andrea Yoch, huh?
Andrea Yoch.
Hey, how about us?
How about us? We're now owners of Minnesota Aurora. I mean,
look, Mama, I made a smart financial decision.
Okay. So, look, I mean, we also got a nice little gift from Minnesota Aurora.
Very nice. Hide our address.
It's on this side.
Woo!
Right.
You know, just the trappings of being owners, bro.
Look at this. We got some sunglasses.
Bro.
For that bright Minnesota sun.
Bro, it really gets in your eyes, dog. I think it's the reflection of the snow.
Hey, let's go. And we got some jerseys.
How am I looking? Carter, on a scale of 1 to 10, me and sunglasses.
10 out of 10.
Hey, my guy knows that. He's just got a good sense of style,
Whoa,
you know?
Let's go.
Look at that.
And it has our names on it. All right. This was the number I had at TST at 41.
Oh, beautiful. Look at your kids. Gorgeous, too.
Yeah. Okay, because it's 4 for Mateo's birth month and 1 for his birthday, April 1st. Wow. That's why I had 41.
And mine's the year.
Wait, there's more stuff in here, though.
Of course there is.
Okay.
I'm going to take this off so I can actually see.
Hold on.
Jesus, I don't want to ruin these beautiful glasses.
We got
the last time they sent us something, there was edibles in it.
This is a beanie for a child. This is for Mateo.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, come on. Too kind. Thank you so much. Shout out.
This must be a shirt for you because look how small it is.
All right.
This is great. Thank you so much to our new club.
Exactly.
We own as part owners.
Exactly. I mean, if we're saying thank you to our club, but it's sort of like we're thanking ourselves.
Yeah.
So
you know what? Thank you.
Thank you
dude, thank you.
Fellow, just it's an owners meeting now.
Now that you guys we should have donuts, dude. Now that I think about it.
I think this podcast is now a tax write-off.
100%. Has it not always been?
Oh boy. Thank you again, Andrea, and everybody at Minnesota Aurora. Oh, is there a card in here? Oh, okay, here we go. This says Alexis and Christian. It's welcome to our community. All right, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Don't read that. Got private information on it.
Thank you so much. All right.
That's what we do with all these bitcoins we bought years ago, bro.
Okay. You don't even understand. We're billionaires. Okay,
Dog,
we just do this out of it's a hobby.
The Cooligans are on the up right now, dog. We're to the moon, my G.
Let's talk some Premier League because it was a little, I don't know if it's a shakeup necessarily, but it just seems like a roller coaster that is going downwards that you think it's gonna come up. Manchester City are gonna figure this out.
They can't possibly lose 5 games in a row.
They got an easy match coming up against Spurs.
Yeah. Well, Tottenham has been their bogey team. They've lost more points to Tottenham than any other club in the Premier League.
It's so fascinating. But usually those games are at Tottenham Stadium.
And also, usually Tottenham only does this whenever it doesn't help Arsenal. I don't know what they're doing, man. Last season, bro.
Don't you know the script? You're not following it.
Yo, help us. You know us who've been making fun of you for decades. Help us.
But no, Tottenham defeat Manchester City 4-0.
4-0. This is huge. James Madison on his birthday with a brace. They scored early. They scored fast. And Manchester City. Also, if Erling Haaland brings the scoring boots, this is 2-2 in the first half. Maybe even possibly 2-0. to Manchester City. So,
but yes, that is true.
I think Tottenham played
but
extremely
Vicario was remarkable stopping some of those.
Absolutely. But you would assume Erling Haaland got this, bro. This is why you brought him in, right?
Totally.
Yo, Phil Foden's not really playing up to the level that he was. Kovacic looks like he's out for a month.
Yeah, Kovacic didn't play this game. Who was in his position?
Gundogan.
Gundogan and Rico Lewis, which is like, it's basically saying we're not going to play with a defensive mid.
Yeah.
And we're just going to try to maintain possession. Holy smokes, that didn't work at all.
But now I'm looking back at some of their previous matches and I'm thinking like, yo, were they foreshadowing this? Like Gvardiol scoring screamers at the end of the game to save him?
Yeah.
Can you always hang on to that? Now I'm questioning everything. You know what I mean? That's how insane. 5 losses in a row for Manchester City. For Pep Guardiola, first time in his career.
Yeah.
A champion hasn't lost 5 matches in a row the following season since Chelsea. Do you want to guess what year?
What year?
1956.
Wow. Oh, I remember that time.
Remember?
How did I forget?
We were streaming.
we were streaming.
It was on Morse code. It was very difficult.
We were streaming through those 2 cups and a string. It was great. No, this is again, we've been saying this throughout this losing streak of like, why does Manchester City look so pedestrian? How come it's every single facet of their game is like where we're sort of used to them being almost automatic and mechanical of like, this player's going to be here. These are going to be the link ups and so on and so forth. And that has just not been the case.
Yeah.
They look sometimes lost defensively where like, you don't think of Manchester City being like, that was your guy. And like, that's not the type of team that they have.
Right.
And that seems to be what is happening. But James Maddison, again, like you mentioned, the second goal, the chip, just a great play. But the Manchester City losing the ball like in their own half and then getting absolutely like just demolished, where they all sort of look lost when the ball is when the ball changes hands, and Tottenham just took complete advantage of it. Even the last goal for Brendan Johnson, I'm just like, how did they give up? Like, what is going on?
There is a lack of bite, a lack of intensity from Manchester City that you don't see very often.
Yeah.
Especially not a Pep Guardiola team, because you would assume at some point in these 4 losses, it would have been, or 5 losses, it would have been like, hey, guys, you're not going to be playing. We're used to him having such a deep squad that you're like, you could say to a player like, that wasn't good enough. They're like, I scored 2 goals. You should have scored 4.
Right.
That's the conversation that Pep Guardiola is used to having, not, we've lost 4 in a row. That's crazy. So to lose 5 in a row, I didn't think it would happen. And this has nothing to do with Tottenham. I've already said I'm an Ange Postecoglou fan. I like the way he sets this team up. You just assume a guy like Pep Guardiola be like, oh, they're going to high press. They're going to leave so much space behind. Van de Ven's not available. I think we can get him. And nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But I can't make sense. How does Tottenham do this to City and then lose to goddamn Ipswich?
Bro,
what is this? How much sense does this make?
I think that whoever scripts the Premier League is like, yo, let's make it wild this year.
It's like, without due respect to Ipswich, we saw their performance against Manchester United, but come on.
Speaking of,
where is this same sort of, I don't know, something to prove in
this is the thing
every match?
If you're going to keep playing that high line, sometimes you're going to get bit, sometimes you're not. You know what I mean? But you mentioned Ipswich. Bro, they stood tall against Manchester United this weekend.
They did.
Amorim, man, what a start.
I would say they were better than Manchester United.
They
should have 100% won that game. If it wasn't for Andrea Yoch, they are not winning this game. And Amorim doesn't even have the like, oh, at least I got a point or whatever. What were the comments? I saw you retweeted something.
Which one?
About like that he was stunned, but the job was as big as it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like you made a joke or whatever about it.
I said stunned by the size of the job, and I said that's the cleaning lady going to the bathroom after me.
Which is good.
They should do press conferences for the cleaning lady. I got some good ones, guys. Follow me on social media. But I think when you look at what he's had to deal with, he had 2 training sessions.
Yeah.
He said he picked the team that had been with him the most, the players that had been there the most, because they understood most of what they wanted. So this isn't even the lineup we're going to see. But again, Ipswich being bottom of the table type team, in the lower third of the table, you'd expect them to sort of cower in this situation, even at home. And they saw, Marcus Rashford score early, and they said, no, don't worry about it. And little by little, they got themselves to the point where in the second half, I had all the confidence in the world that they were going to not just equalize, but win this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Onana made a few
Onana was by far the best player wearing a Manchester United shirt.
He made huge stop. Was it Liam Delap had like the basically a tap in, and Onana, I couldn't even believe he stopped. It was one of those like, I'm throwing my body out here, and if the ball hits me, I'm gonna be very happy about that.
Right.
But there were so many chances, and I think that's kind of like what you just sort of alluded to, just like Ipswich were not intimidated by Manchester United, and it seemingly this is the case. I mean, it has arguably probably the last like 5 years, maybe a little less. No, but it went from like people, Manchester United having issues and they couldn't find the right roster and drama and Sancho and Ronaldo coming back and blah, 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 to now being like, yo, they can't even, we have nothing to be afraid of. And there's no real presence on that team that tells me, like, if I'm an opponent that I'm like, I got to be worried about him or whatever. Even though, I mean, there's a couple of really good players. I thought Amad Diallo just getting the assist in that and like just creating that opportunity and making that run really early in the game, I think was a good sign. And it shows like a lot of Manchester United fans just like want him to play more. And it's good that to see that and to see him do something positive. But outside of that, and especially from a defensive perspective, and now that Amorim is going to play 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 or whatever, this is going to put a lot of responsibility and pressure on the defenders, especially when they lose the ball. When they have the ball, they'll probably look pretty good. But without the ball, I'm a little bit worried about...
Well, Johnny Evans can't be on this squad.
He was on there.
Yeah, he can moving forward. I mean, maybe he was just in training more, but moving forward, that can't be the guy you call
Is Sandro
on.
Martinez injured again or no?
Yeah, he is. There's something wrong, but I think he's on his way back. But did you see the post game where he was, I think it was Sky Sports, where they were asking him questions, and Ruben Amorim gave like a really detailed answer. They were like, he was like, I picked the players that were with me the most, and, I think we were good in this situation. I'm paraphrasing. He's like, in others, he goes, but there's things that, we learned in training that I had not known before. He was like, Garna. He calls him Garna. He's like, Garna can play with the ball at his feet in between lines. He's like, I didn't know that.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, he's like actually answering the question.
Oh, wow.
He's not like ignoring it or finding a creative way around it. Such a breath of fresh air from how, Eric Ten Hag treated the media,
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to see, like, okay, he's
Also,
got the right idea.
I can't really picture Garnacho playing in the midfield between the
Apparently
lines.
he can.
He's fast as hell, and he's great on the
wing.
wing.
That shot in Argentina. Like, there's some guys in there that I think they're gonna get until they're done. They're gonna get that chance. But that to me shows that, like, okay, he's coming in and trying to make the players better.
Sure.
Or finding other ways, creative ways of using the players.
But also a post game. Also speaking of on Sky Sports, the Ed Sheeran incident. Ed Sheeran making news, making it about himself,
popping up, saying, "What's good? What y'all talking about? What's up, Amorim? How was day one?
Hey, I'm here to just give you a nice little warm welcome."
Yeah.
No, this was if you didn't see the clip, it was he went to go say hello to Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah, Jamie Redknapp.
And in the middle of the interview with Ruben Amorim, and I didn't really think necessarily much of it, but then the host of the show was like talking to Sheeran and basically said like, "Oh, do you want to say anything to Ruben?" And he was like, "I don't think he wants to speak to me."
And Ruben was like, "No, I don't." Spot on.
You got it. Write a song about it, Ed.
It feels like you could read the room there, Ed.
I'm not too happy with this result. Ed Sheeran later apologized. He on Instagram, he goes, "Apology if I offended Amorim yesterday. Didn't actually realize he was being interviewed at the time. Was popping in to say hi and bye to Jamie. Obs feel a bit of a, I don't know what is something.
There's a word that he blurs out everything but the first letter, which is a B.
Yeah, I don't know what.
What's a British word that they would use there? Bastard.
Bellend.
Is that long enough for Bellend? That is long enough for Bellend.
Okay. All right. Yes, that is a long Bellend.
Yeah. Hey, good for you. Hey, all right.
But he said, but life goes on. Great game, though. Congrats on all involved. Yeah, this was a huge result.
Is he part owner of Ipswich or just a super fan? Did he like fully invest?
I think he's an investor. Yeah.
I think he is part owner.
Yeah. So, yeah, love that.
Shouts to Ruben Amorim for playing along with that.
Yeah.
You could tell he wasn't actually upset.
Yeah. Well, but there's something to, he jumps into this job and he's like, all right, I gotta be serious.
Respect me. I am Manchester United head coach.
Ed Sheeran, okay. Yes, I've heard one of your songs. I hear it at weddings all the time. But now is not the time, Ed.
Right.
So I love that. The other game.
Did you also see that some of the fans went after Roy Keane?
I did see that.
And Roy Keane said, "I'll meet you in the car park."
That's why,
bro.
That's why,
Roy,
It
chill.
can't be. It's a little bit when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, it goes too far.
Because now,
remember, he was the manager of Ipswich.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he was like a failed manager. So there's clearly some bad blood there.
Yeah, they said you're a better pundit than a manager.
Yeah,
and then he said, "Meet me at the car." He goes, "Look." Roy Keane is going to escalate it very quickly, so you better.
Didn't he just get out of like a trial for headbutting a dude? Right? Allegedly. I don't know what happened.
But
fam, how much? Your lawyer's like, go ahead, bro.
Because it was I think the fan was the one that instigated the whole thing, or whatever. But yeah, it's like, look, he's gonna keep her. He has to. People are trying to egg him on, and he's gonna have to find a way to do it.
You can't do the in the parking lot, bro.
I think there's like I read that. Was it Sky that he was working for at the time?
I think he was working at Sky. Yeah.
And they said like we're doing an investigation to see what the details of this incident are. But it's just like you can't do the meet me at the car park. All right, it's a little too much. All right, the other game we have to talk about is Liverpool against Southampton. Southampton hosted this game. They were leading in this game, but they ended up losing 3-2 to Liverpool. Just the fact that they were even leading in the game, I think, was a surprise to most. But Liverpool, they do what they do, and
they'll figure it out,
and they got it done. But I think the big talking point in this game was
the penalty.
What happened?
Was it on the line? Was it not on the line?
Right. That was a. What did you think?
I think it's enough on the line. The line is in the box.
Yeah.
Also, it's enough on the line for me to say that's a penalty.
Who has to be on the line? Like, you
have to be fouled on the line.
Because it looked like who was it? Robertson, right? Is the one that committed the foul. Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
He to me committed the foul on the line, but the Southampton player to me was not on the line. Or it could have been like.
But it's not where the contact initiates. The contact carries through over the line or onto the line. You are now in the box. That is a penalty.
Okay. I could see that.
And also, it was called a penalty. There wasn't enough. And people are like, that's not enough to say it's a penalty. That's not the job of VAR.
Yeah.
VAR's job is to say, is there proof that it wasn't a penalty? There wasn't. So if you saw it as a penalty, that's a penalty.
Because it could have been.
Can you tell I'm an Arsenal fan? I want Liverpool to lose. Can you tell?
It could have been a scenario where the foul happened. Because we're all looking at the angles and who knows. It could have been like the foul happened over the line.
That's on the line,
but that is on the line. So
that's a penalty.
So that's why when I was looking at it, I'm like, well, the Southampton player doesn't seem to be on the line. He's not physically touching the actual powder that is on the line. So yeah, it was a.
It's kind of like a smart play by Andy Robertson. Like, hey, if you're gonna foul him in front of the line.
Yeah,
but it just crosses over to the line.
Exactly.
In which case, boom, you're done.
So,
but Mohamed Salah.
You
think he would celebrate this win?
Yeah. So the news. After the game, because he was interviewed by I believe Joe Prince Wright. He was
it was on. There was a little bit of a scrum here, so I think Joe Prince Wright is the first guy who's asking.
And he's asking Mo Salah about his contract situation because he is not. He doesn't have a contract in place for next season at Liverpool, and then so there's two things happening here. It's also the conversation about the contract, but also we're getting a very close look at Mohamed Salah's hairline.
Yeah, the new hairline.
We can see the impeccable work.
Right, this was not from Temu. This was like a for real hairline. And before we play this, I want to remind you, Opta released some information about Mohamed Salah, who's having a career season right now, making an argument for greatest player in Premier League history. He himself has scored and assisted enough to qualify or to have earned Liverpool 17 points himself.
Wow.
Without that, Chelsea's in first place, and Liverpool are in 13th place. So if Mohamed Salah is not in this team, they don't get 17 points. They're in 13th place, and Chelsea is in first. Obviously, another player would be in that position. Maybe they score some goals. That's not exact, but that's how much he's worth right now.
MVP season.
Absolutely.
So far for Mohamed Salah. All right. So here goes.
There's a lot of talk about your future. What's the latest you can tell us on that?
Well, we almost in December. I haven't received any offer to stay yet in the club, so probably I'm more out than in. So.
Would you like to stay though?
Well, I've been in the club for many years. No club like this, but in the end, it's not in my hand. So, as I said before, it's December, so I haven't received anything.
So he said. So basically,
I'm more out than in is.
I'm more out than
never
in.
good. I don't care what situation you're in if you're saying that.
Not a great situation, but it's also the direct question of like, would you like to stay? And he doesn't hit him with the yes, I would like to stay. It's like, oh, it's not in my hands, and it's December, and
I actually think he was saying like, of course I'd like to stay, but it's not. He said there's no club like this.
But he didn't say
it.
Yes, I would like to stay.
I think this is the thing. It's like they don't want to give up leverage on the negotiations.
Yeah.
And Liverpool don't want to lose leverage on the negotiations. So both of them are just going to keep like whatever the opposite of flirting is.
Right.
They're going to keep doing whatever the opposite of Riz is. They're going to keep doing that in the media. But every time Mohamed Salah's asked about it, he's just like, yeah, bro, they ain't talked to me. It's like, at some point, like, I kind of miss when players would just like not say anything.
Yeah, this is. Look, no comment would have been fine here. I think for a lot of people, but this is the.
It's like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving, bro. You saying a lot of secrets right now.
This is a. It's a. The main thing here is I just think they need to offer a little bit of respect.
Yeah.
I mean, how much better does he need to play? This is it's clearly an important player.
Yeah.
One of the most important players, I would say, in Liverpool's history.
Yeah, facts.
So what? I don't understand why you would treat a player like this that is so crucial to your club and also beloved by all the fans. Don't understand, but clearly the money issue, kind of like what you said. It seems like we're all watching them negotiate in public. And he's not gonna give up any kind of show his hand even a little. Even it's just like even him saying like, "Hey, I like this club." There's nothing like it. Even that his agent's probably like, "Yo, don't be saying anything positive about it because they're gonna offer you less."
Don't say anything crazy either, though.
Find the nice steady middle ground where you're
sit
like
on that fence, my guy.
You're like, I don't even know if I want to play soccer anymore.
I got this YouTube channel I want to start. I saw Ronaldo killing it.
So that's what Salah's next move needs to be. So but no, big obviously now the Liverpool have a what's the point gap? 8 points.
8 points.
8 points.
Still doesn't feel like this is settled in any way, shape, or form.
It's not settled.
It's way too early.
But feels they have to feel pretty good about
this is
watching
good news.
City lose over and over and over. Is definitely comforting. But no, also a big win from Arsenal beating Nottingham. I think maybe calm a little bit of those fears that I think Arsenal fans
just goes to show you how important Odegaard is.
Without a doubt.
It's ridiculous. One of the best players in the league.
We're heading into, obviously, the holiday fixtures that are going to be pretty intense. And we'll see how things end up, after Boxing Day. Because I think the table is going to be changing quite a bit by the time January comes. So, yes, another wild weekend of Premier League. And then we'll wrap up there as well. Thank you again to Andrea Yoch for joining us. Shout out to us. Shouts to us for just becoming owners in a football club.
Bruh.
This is all right. Things are changing. All right.
Look at us, huh?
Look at us. I mean, incredible. So
someone's like, yo, y'all don't support me with soccer. We literally do. I like how we're holding each other's shirts. That's the biggest shirt you've ever held in your life.
So go if you'd like to also become an investor in Minnesota Aurora, go do that. Go to their website. It's on WeFunder, like we mentioned on the show, and join us if you want to sit in the boardroom with the Cooligans. So I'm sure
bring donuts.
Donuts. Yeah, that'll be your job.
Yeah, we'll bring bagels.
Okay, but it'll be a good time. So make sure you follow us everywhere at Soccer Cooligans on all socials. Follow us on Blue Sky.
Yes,
we're having a good time over there. With some sane human beings. It's lovely. And subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not yet. And leave a review on Apple Podcasts or leave a comment on Spotify. You can do that as well. Anything else? Anything I missed?
Nothing. You
All
guys are
right.
the best. Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yes.
That's a big one.
We're obviously Thanksgiving is this Thursday. We'll be off. We'll be back next week on Monday with another hit show.
Another bang.
Another bang. That's all we do.
Another banger in your ear.
All right.
Let's go to the doctor.
Okay. Get health insurance.
Yo,
The
fact.
open enrollment ends December 15th.
Bro,
everybody.
hurry up.
So-
There's about to be a banger in your ear, bro.
You don't want to. You're gonna tell the doctor like, "Yo, I was listening to Cooligans. That's why this blood came
Oh,
from."
damn. He's like, another banger in your ear? You're the fifth one today.
I've been seeing this all day. Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week. Cheers, everybody.
Love you guys.